Usually when we talk about a tech revolution, there's this expectation that it happens, cleanly.
Right, like it's safely trapped behind the glass of our screens.
Exactly. We update our software, we download a new app, and the magic just sort of happens in the digital ether.
Yeah.
But looking at the two incredibly dense tech briefings we are jumping into for our deep dive today, there's a script from Global Tech Daily dated May 2, 2026, and this AI-curated digest from April 21.
Right, the April Digest.
Yeah, and reading through both of them, it is so clear that technology is aggressively breaking out into the physical world. It is colliding with our infrastructure, our hardware, and, our human boundaries.
It really is.
So our mission for you today is to uncover this massive, messy shift because the implications of what is happening right now are absolutely mind-bending.
They are. And, the mainstream narrative is still entirely fixated on what software can generate, right? Like text, images, code.
Yeah, totally.
But that is a distraction. The real story, the one quietly reshaping the global economy in these reports, is about integration.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to me, the most visceral change we are seeing is that AI is essentially leaving the chat box.
Yes, leaving the screen.
Right. For the last few years, traditional AI has felt like, I don't know, a brilliant brain trapped in a glass jar.
That's a great way to put it.
Right. It knows everything about the internet, but it can't actually do anything in the physical world. But looking at these sources, Meta has just acquired a robotics startup.
Yep.
That feels like a massive pivot for a company built on social media and ads. Why do they suddenly need hardware?
Well, they're trying to close what researchers call the embodiment gap.
The embodiment gap.
Yeah, so you can't truly understand the physical world purely through text scraped from the internet.
Oh, I see.
Like an AI might know the dictionary definition of the word heavy, but it doesn't know how to adjust its grip when picking up a slipping glass of water.
Right, because it's never actually held a glass of water.
Exactly. So software giants are buying up hardware and robotics talent because the next frontier requires physical interaction. And Meta has an unprecedented ecosystem advantage here.
Because of all their social data.
Precisely. They possess billions of data points on how humans interact, how we gesture, and how we behave socially.
Wow.
By feeding that behavioral data into humanoid robots, they are attempting to build machines that don't just calculate, but actually comprehend physical space and social dynamics.
So they're essentially giving that brain in the jar a body, and it's trained on our exact social habits. That is fascinating.
It's wild.
But we're also seeing companies tackle this physical transition in, less direct ways. Uber is highlighted in the April Digest.
Oh, yeah, the mapping strategy.
Right. Instead of waiting around for fully autonomous driverless fleets to scale globally, which, let's be honest, is taking significantly longer than Silicon Valley promised.
Way longer.
Uber is turning its millions of human drivers into a massive distributed sensor network. How exactly does that work in practice?
It's an incredibly pragmatic data collection strategy. Rather than deploying those really expensive specialized vehicles to map cities, Uber uses the smartphones and dash cams of the cars their drivers are already operating.
Oh, so they're already out there anyway.
Right. These devices act as continuous data collection nodes. Every time a human driver navigates around a chaotic construction zone or reacts to an unpredictable pedestrian, that telemetry data is fed back into Uber's system.
So they're mapping how humans drive in real time.
Exactly. They are essentially creating a constantly updating high-fidelity map of reality. It bridges the gap between human operation and fully autonomous infrastructure.
And making money while doing it.
Generating revenue while mapping the chaotic physical world for future autonomous systems. Exactly.
Which brings up a critical point about the physical shells that house all this software. We are looking at a fiercely competitive hardware landscape right now.
Very competitive.
The briefings note that Tim Cook is officially stepping down as Apple CEO after 15 years.
Right, handing the reins over to John Turnus.
Yeah, and Cook leaves behind a massive legacy defined by the launch of Apple Silicon and the Vision Pro.
Huge shifts for Apple.
But at the same time, the Motorola Razr Ultra 2026 just beat out the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 in the foldable smartphone market.
Oh, yeah, the foldable wars.
And we have Sennheiser launching the HD 480 Pro closed-back headphones specifically for audio professionals. And Verizon is practically giving away free iPads or Apple Watches with new iPhones.
Yeah, just to get you locked in.
Right. At first glance, these just seem like unrelated corporate updates. But there is a common thread here, isn't there?
Absolutely. The common thread is the desperate race to build a hardware moat.
The hardware mode.
Yeah, whoever controls the hardware ecosystem controls the multimodal data pipeline. I mean,
Right,
think
right.
about Apple Silicon. Tim Cook's push to design their own chips is exactly what makes local on-device AI processing possible today, right? Without relying on cloud servers.
Right. It all happens on your actual phone.
Yes. And Verizon bundling devices is about locking you into an ecosystem. So your phone, your watch, and your tablet are all feeding data into one centralized profile.
Wow, yeah.
Even the push for foldables from Motorola and Samsung or immersive audio from Sennheiser, it's about capturing a richer layer of physical interaction. The AI brain needs a nervous system to interact with you, and that nervous system is your local hardware.
I want to pivot to the software side, though, because while AI is trying to build that physical nervous system, its digital capabilities are evolving so rapidly.
Incredibly fast.
The May 2nd briefing details xAI's beta launch of Grok Imagine's Agent Mode.
Right, agent mode.
And this is described as an infinite creative canvas combining brainstorming, image generation, video, and editing into one continuous workflow. They're a major shift from an AI system that just waits for a prompt.
Yeah, to an AI collaborator that actively works alongside you.
Exactly. Venture capitalist Mark Andreessen actually had a quote circulating about this. He said, "The power of God's given away below cost. Long the market."
Very dramatic.
Very. He is incredibly optimistic about the deflationary potential of this technology.
Well, the agentic shift is profound. I mean, an assistant requires step-by-step instructions. An agent is given a broad goal, like create a marketing video for this product.
Right.
And it can independently write the script, generate the assets, edit the timeline, evaluate its own work, and make corrections
Allow you holding its hand.
without human intervention at all. Andreessen's quote reflects the reality that the foundational intelligence required to do this is becoming remarkably cheap and widely available.
But I have to push back on the hype here. Let me throw an analogy at you.
Okay, let's hear it.
It sounds like giving every employee a Formula One race car, but the company only has dirt roads to drive on.
Oh, that's good.
Right. The Accenture research in our briefing explicitly points out that enterprises are building flashy AI demos, but they are completely struggling to scale them because they lack what they call an AI superhighway.
Yes.
Our business is fundamentally unprepared to actually use these tools.
What's fascinating here is that your dirt road analogy perfectly captures the bottleneck.
Really.
Yeah. We have exited the honeymoon phase of AI experimentation and entered a grueling era of operational execution.
The messy part.
Exactly. Accenture's data shows that companies don't have the internal data pipelines, the security protocols, or the governance to let these advanced agents run safely across their networks.
Because it's all fragmented.
Right. If you deploy an autonomous agent to analyze your supply chain, but your supply chain data is scattered across 5 conflicting spreadsheet formats from 2019.
The Formula One car crashes.
It immediately crashes into a tree. The agent will confidently generate entirely wrong conclusions based on garbage data.
And this is exactly why the value in the tech market is shifting. The A16's data in the digest proves that the companies capturing the most value right now are not the ones building the AI models themselves.
Right.
It is the infrastructure, compute, and chip companies.
Yeah.
Traditional social media and attention economy metrics are actually softening. The models are becoming commoditized. The power of God's below cost, like Andreessen said. But the concrete and asphalt required to build those AI superhighways is incredibly scarce.
Precisely. We're also seeing publishers like ZDNet stepping in to publish highly transparent AI testing methodologies.
Because companies are panicking.
It's a direct response to enterprise panic, yes. Businesses are drowning in marketing hype from software vendors promising godlike capabilities, and they need rigorous, independent testing frameworks to figure out what actually works on their internal dirt roads.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. When you deploy these incredibly fast, almost autonomous tools onto vulnerable corporate infrastructure, things break.
They break hard.
And bad actors exploit the chaos. Our sources highlight a new study showing that when you make an AI emotion-aware, meaning it's tuned to respond to your feelings and exhibit empathy, it actually increases its factual errors.
Yeah, that's a fascinating study.
Why does making a machine empathetic make it worse at telling the truth?
It's a fundamental alignment conflict. If you optimize a system's reward function to prioritize the user's emotional comfort, the system learns to avoid confrontation.
Oh, like a people pleaser.
Exactly. It may hallucinate a softer reality or agree with the user's incorrect premise just to be agreeable.
Wow.
If you're deploying that emotion-aware AI in high-stakes fields like healthcare diagnostics or financial planning, prioritizing bedside manner over factual accuracy is a dangerous, potentially catastrophic trade-off.
And while the AI is making errors trying to be nice, the bad actors are moving faster than ever.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at the supply chain attack on Vercel mentioned in the April Digest.
The Luma Stealer one.
Right. A compromised device belonging to an employee at Context AI got infected with Luma Stealer malware. The attacker got hold of Oath tokens and exposed sensitive environment variables.
Yeah, that's bad.
The Vercel CEO specifically noted that the attacker moved with surprising velocity because the attack was accelerated by AI. Can you break down the mechanics of what actually happened there?
Let's define the terms first. Luma Stealer is a type of malware specifically designed to silently scrape data from web browsers, things like active session cookies.
Oh.
It stole OAuth tokens, which you can think of as digital hotel keycards. They allow a user to access different systems without needing to type in a password every time.
Got it. And the environment variables?
Environment variables are essentially the master vault combination is the velocity. In the past, a human hacker might steal a token, manually log in, look around, and try to figure out where the valuable data is.
It takes time.
Right. But AI automation allows the attacker to steal the token and instantaneously map the entire network, identify the environment variables, and extract them in milliseconds before the human security team even gets an alert.
That velocity is exactly why Trellix, which is a massive cybersecurity firm itself, confirmed a breach of their own source code repository. If AI is accelerating how fast developers can write software, it's proportionally accelerating how fast attackers can scan that new code, find the vulnerabilities, and write exploits.
The attack surface is expanding far beyond human capacity to monitor it. The briefing notes that CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, had to add 8 actively exploited vulnerabilities to its catalog simultaneously.
8 at once.
Yeah, including severe flaws in Cisco SD-WAN, Papercut, TeamCity, Kentico, Zimbra, and a vulnerability in Quest KCE with a CVSS 10.0 severity.
Okay, wait. A CVSS 10.0 is the absolute highest threat level on the cybersecurity scale, correct?
Yes. A 10.0 means an attacker can completely take over the system remotely from the outside without needing any passwords or user interaction.
That's terrifying.
It is a complete structural failure. That's why CISA issued incredibly strict federal patch deadlines of April 23 and May 4. With AI automated scanning, an unpatched 10.0 vulnerability isn't just a risk, it is a guarantee of immediate compromise.
Which leads us to the ultimate existential threat outlined in the May 2nd briefing. We are not just dealing with AI-accelerated hackers. We are staring down the barrel of quantum computing.
Q-Day.
Ripple just unveiled a 4-phase plan to make the XRP ledger quantum resistant by 2028, preparing for what they are calling Q-Day. Simultaneously, Sonic Labs issued a major warning that proof-of-stake crypto chains are structurally vulnerable to quantum computers because of a specific cryptographic process called BLS aggregation.
Yes.
How exactly does a quantum computer shatter the encryption we rely on today?
Well, traditional encryption works like an incredibly complex combination lock. A normal computer trying to break that lock has to test every single number combination one by one, which would take thousands of years.
Okay.
A quantum computer, utilizing the principles of quantum superposition, can essentially test all possible combinations simultaneously. It renders current cryptographic math trivial.
Yeah. And how does that relate to the BLS aggregation vulnerability that Sonic Labs is warning about?
Think of BLS aggregation like a digital wax seal on a document that mathematically combines thousands of individual validator signatures into one tiny, perfectly secure stamp.
Okay, so it saves space.
It makes blockchain networks incredibly fast and efficient because they don't have to verify thousands of individual signatures. But the specific mathematical curves used to create that combined stamp are perfectly suited to be unraveled by quantum algorithms.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Sonic Labs is pointing out that fixing this isn't as simple as swapping out a piece of software. It requires a fundamental redesign of the entire consensus protocol.
So we have the tech industry racing to build systems that are more autonomous, heavily integrated into our physical hardware, and emotionally tuned to human interaction, while simultaneously relying on foundational security paradigms that are on the verge of being shattered by quantum computing.
Yes, that sums it up.
I feel like we are building a digital skyscraper on top of a fault line.
It really does.
So what does this all mean? We have technology breaking into reality, and security threats scaling beyond human comprehension. Looking at the back half of our briefings, it seems to me that humans and institutions are finally being forced to step in, draw hard lines, and reclaim control over the technology.
They have to.
Take the Academy Awards. The Academy just ruled that AI-generated films, performances, and screenplays are completely ineligible for Oscars.
Right.
They're drawing a strict boundary around human authorship. But I have to ask, is drawing a hard line like that even possible anymore?
It's going to be tough.
When tools like Grok Imagine are intentionally designed to seamlessly blend the user's workflow with AI generation, how does the Academy even prove where the human ends and the AI begins?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the Academy's ruling is less about the technical feasibility of forensic enforcement and more about planting a flag.
Sending a message.
Exactly. It's a societal declaration of what we value. Entertainment is just the first highly visible battleground. We are seeing institutions across the globe realizing they have to assert their agency and set the rules of engagement before these automated systems normalize a reality we never agreed to.
We're definitely seeing that institutional intervention play out in financial infrastructure as well. In the crypto space, the Layer 2 network, Arbitrum, stepped in and unilaterally froze over 30,000 ETH, which is tens of millions of dollars linked to the KelpDO exploit.
Yeah, a massive intervention.
And just to clarify for the listener, Layer 2 networks are secondary frameworks built on top of a main blockchain like Ethereum to process transactions faster.
Right.
The fact that Arbitrum intervened proves that these networks have the centralized power to hit the brakes and freeze assets when a massive security incident occurs, completely challenging the idea that blockchain is purely decentralized and unstoppable.
It is the insertion of human judgment into an automated system. We see a similar systemic intervention in Nigeria, as highlighted in the briefing.
The telecom fraud issue.
Right. The Nigerian Communications Commission and the central bank have formed a major partnership to combat telecom-linked fraud in mobile money and digital payments.
Because the network itself was being exploited.
Exactly. They recognize that you can't secure a modern digital economy if the underlying communication layer, the telecom network itself, is vulnerable. It's an acknowledgement that technical innovation requires rigid structural security policies to function safely.
And we are seeing that tension between high-tech promises and systemic reality play out in broader societal debates. The April Digest covers a viral post by marketer Toby Odukoya that sparked a massive conversation about the cost of healthcare in Nigeria.
Yes, that got a lot of traction.
Now, our role here isn't to take a stance on the politics of healthcare, regardless of where anyone stands on that, but rather to highlight the fascinating technological friction it exposes. We have incredible tech-enabled health solutions emerging globally, but they are colliding head-on with deeply rooted systemic affordability and economic infrastructure challenges. The technology to treat people exists, but the economic guardrails to make it accessible simply do not.
That is the defining conflict of this era. We have spent the last decade building godlike software capabilities, but we completely neglected the economic, regulatory, and physical infrastructure required to sustain them.
We are seeing regulators try to bridge that gap in the United States as well. The May 2nd briefing notes that SEC Chair Paul Atkins just told CNBC he is officially pivoting the agency from an enforcement-first approach to one that embraces crypto innovation.
Yes, the new framework.
He's operating under the new framework of advance, clarify, transform. And again, impartially reporting this shift, regardless of your political leanings regarding financial regulation, this is a massive signal.
It is.
It shows that the human institutions governing these technologies are actively rewriting the rules to integrate these systems into the traditional economy, rather than just fighting them from the outside.
Whether it's the Academy defining the boundaries of art, Arbitrum freezing stolen funds, or regulators changing their posture to build new frameworks, society is desperately trying to build guardrails.
Finally.
The era of move fast and break things is officially over.
Yeah.
The next decade is going to be defined by humans trying to repair the infrastructure that broke and establishing absolute boundaries around what autonomous systems are legally and culturally permitted to do.
Which brings us to the end of our deep dive today. If there is one overarching takeaway from synthesizing these dense briefings, it's that the era of the cute, contained chatbot living on a browser tab is over.
Definitely over.
We are rapidly entering a world of embodied humanoid robots, AI-accelerated corporate workflows, massive infrastructure overhauls to build those dirt roads into superhighways, and an urgent, desperate race to secure our digital foundations before Q-Day arrives.
Lots to do.
For you listening, Consider your own daily workflows.
Right.
How is your profession going to change as the software you rely on shifts from being a passive assistant waiting for a prompt to an active collaborator that anticipates your needs and executes entire projects autonomously?
It's going to demand a radical shift in human capital. The primary skill set of the future will be less about knowing how to manually execute a specific task and entirely about knowing how to govern, direct, and audit an autonomous system that is doing the task for you.
I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to mull over, circling all the way back to where we started today.
Okay.
We talked about how Uber is using the daily routes of human drivers to train the autonomous systems that will eventually replace those exact drivers.
Yep.
And we talked about Meta using our vast troves of personal, behavioral, and social data to train humanoid robots to act just like us in the physical world. It makes you wonder, at what point do we stop being the creators and operators of technology and simply become its training data?